Moving on to our next techniques is our mugging. So these are the single hand muggings where somebody grabs your shirt and pulls you in towards them. Now eventually we'll cover if they push you away, but right now someone's mugging you and pulling you in. Now I want to give you this advice. If you're training with me, it's never a bad thing if someone pulls you towards them, because you have all your self-defense skills I've ever taught you from day one accessible in this scenario. For the muggings, all the entries start pretty much the same. So when he grabs like this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to step off on that 45-degree angle. I'm going to do what's called a prime on his elbow by slapping his elbow in. So when he pulls me in, I have my prime. So this from here is going to be my uppercut right under his breast. And if you're working with the females in class, we kind of adapt it to come a little bit lower just to be cautious. But for when you're working with the males, you're coming right under the breast right here. That's the first part. The second part is I'm going to slide this hand back for control, back fist, hammer fist, grab on, and then side kick. So that side kick to the quad, which could eventually be the knee, brings him down lower than myself. So from this position, when he pulls me in, you're going to see me prime this and uppercut here at the same time. I'm going to come in here, back fist, hammer fist. You can see how I'm still controlling this. Grab for stability, and then side kick him down. So let's move on to our single muggings part B. The difference with this is when Miss Alex is grabbing me, she's pushing me backwards. Part A, she's just grabbing me. So if she's just grabbing me and pulling me in towards her, I have a lot of things available to me. I can pretty much do anything I want. Now when she's pushing me backwards, the first thing I need to do is stop that momentum. So the way I do this in these muggings is I roll out. So when she pushes me, I'm going to give way. So let's look at it on this side. So when she's going to grab me, she's going to start to push me back all the way through the windows. When that happens, I give way. So as she's coming in, I give way, and I'm going to send her a present in the form of my straight punch. Now a little bit different when I do this. I'm actually going to use like a vertical punch. You can still use your degree on a 45. It just depends how you're throwing it. When I give way this way, it lengthens me on the other side. So I'm striking right between the chest and the shoulder, right where that joint is, the articulation. So when she's pushing, I give way, and at the same time, I'm going to punch her, coming straight in. So if you notice my hips when I'm doing that, I'm rolling in. So I'm extending through. Here's something that people mess up. The kick is going to come second because I want to set up my knife hand strike. What happens is, I punch her there. I'm going to use my front leg. So this hand comes up to grab. My front leg comes up and blast her out. That brings her down. Anytime your adversary is in this bent position, it'll increase the effectiveness of my strike coming straight down. When I'm using my knife hand to the back of her neck, the back of her head, I want to use extreme caution. Because she's so vulnerable, I'm just going to lightly touch or not touch at all. Let's break that down for number one. So she pushes, I give way and punch, I grab, kick her down, and then I'm going to chop coming straight in. So this would come straight in like that. Now to finish in number one, it's the same as part A. I'm going to sink in my guillotine choke. So let's move on to single muggings part B, number two. So Miss Alex pushes me back, I give way, and I'm striking straight in. I kick, and she drops. Here's my knife hand. Now I'm exaggerating so you can see, but I would just drop that really swiftly. Coming in just like this, most likely she is either knocked out or she fell from here. But we're going to finish our technique with our heavy hand, pushing down, and then throwing her to the ground. So let's watch that from the other side. She pushes, I give way. Kick, knife hand, grab on top. Now, with this, I put my weight on her. Especially if it's a bigger adversary, I'm able to kind of hold her down with my body weight, this foot, and then throw her right through the windows. So let's move on to single muggings part B, number three. This is a Côte de Guiche ending. She's grabbing from here. I give way and I punch. So this hand is going to slide up, kick, knife hand, and then take her down with my Côte de Guiche. Watch on the other side. She's coming from here. Pop. Now watch how this slides back. Kick, knife hand, and we'll take her down. So roll in, take her all the way down, and be sticky. So let's move on to single muggings part B, number four. This will end in your kote mawashi. She's coming in, punch, kick, knife hand. So see how this still trapped? So now I'm going to give way and grab and roll in. So let's watch this one more time. She's coming in, pop, kick. Here's my slide back, knife hand, come trace, and then kote mawashi. Let's look at that from the other side. So she's pushing, I give way, kick, knife hand. So I'm going to pin this here, and then this comes up, and when I trap it, I'll be able to rotate in. Moving on to single muggings part B, number 5. This is your nerve strikes. Miss Alex pushes me, I give way. Punch, kick out the leg, I use my knife hand to come in, and this hand's going to have to swoop underneath. So I'm coming in, I make my fist, you can use my joint of my thumb to come strike underneath. At the same time, this can come with a knife hand or a hammer fist to hit this down. This position is great to come right in for your underneath Sankyu lock. So if you ever found that arm in this position, you can strike and then come right through. Let's watch that on this side. So she's coming in, punch, kick, knife hand. This is going to swoop underneath, and then I come straight through. So let's move on to single muggings part B, number 6, and this is the chin. Again, she's pushing me back here. There's my kick, drop it down. Now I'm going to come right over the top, grabbing her chin from here, pushing down, and then rolling through. Now watch how I step back. That's how you get them off balance, is I hook them and step back. Let me do that again from this side. This is really important when someone's pushing you backwards, that you really learn how to stop that momentum. Because if they keep pushing you backwards, you're going to be at a disadvantage, and she's going to have the advantage, right? She can push me back and start punching me in the face, but I'm on the defense. So this is why you need to stop this momentum quickly. The giving of the way, and then the strike. She comes in, I hit, I kick, I drop, I come straight in, grab that chin, start to push. When she gets about here, I just step right back. So we're here, 1, 2, 3, come straight in, pushing down, rotate the chin, and then step back. Obviously, anytime you do anything with the neck, make sure you are controlled. Moving on to number 7, single muggings part B. Again, Miss Alex pushes me back. There's my strike. Kick, drop the knife hand. Here what I want to do is make sure I get scapular control, and I'm going to take my ridge hand and my forearm right across her face. I know in class a lot of times it's a ridge hand, so you're trying to use just the ridge hand. I'm going to use my whole forearm because I can use that as a strike. I push down with the scapular hand. I'm going to come up this way and roll out. You see how I take it to the ground. Watch that from the other side. From here, 1, 2, 3. I push down, but I've already hooked her. This is coming across. Now, push this down. I'm going to start to roll her neck again. I'm going to pivot out a pakwa with my left. You see how I actually drive her right to the ground. Let's move on to single muggings part B, number 8. Now the question I get about this is, when do I add the second kick? It's going to be after you throw the initial kick in the intro. What happens is she pushes me, I give way, then I kick out the quad. Then I'm going to bring my other front kick up straight. So when she comes in, I punch, I kick, I reposition, and then front kick as my second. Then I'm going to drop my knife hand, I'm going to come in. So I'm coming like a guillotine, but I'm going to grab that throat, roll her over, and then take her back. Let's watch that on the other side. So she's in here, I have 2 kicks. There's my strike, my first kick to the quad, my second kick to the stomach or ribs. I'm going to drop my knife hand, come over the top, grab that throat, and rotate through. So let's move on to our final single mugging, part B, which is number 9. So this is that elbow to shoulder lock. I'm dropping down. When she comes in from here, I'm going to make sure I start to pin this. So I'm coming in, kick, and then knife hand. Here, what I'm going to do is bring my arm over, drop my elbow. So that gets her to bend. Here's where people make the mistake. They open the arm up and now they can't get it over. What I do is I drop my elbow down and I roll it in. I can take my hand to come straight up on her chest, but if you're working with a female, just adapt that. And I'm going to take my left hand and come across the face and bring her straight down. So let's watch that on the other side. So if you have like usually like a man who doesn't have good flexibility in the shoulders, it's okay. You can do a different technique. You can abort that. You want to make sure your training partner is safe, because a lot of times men are really tight up top, so this lock you won't be able to get without really hurting them, or you just won't be able to get it. So you just have to be adaptable. She comes in from here. There's my punch. There's my kick. There's my knife hand. Now what I do from here, elbow down, elbow up and in. So this hand comes up. I'm just going to change it for her. This hand shoots across this way. This will be palm down. Take her straight down. So what I want to also caution you is that when you're doing this takedown, because you have their arm and their head, you want to be slow. You want to make sure your partner knows how to fall, which at this point they should, but check in with them, make sure everything's good, and let's be safe.